If you're thinking about starting a podcast, don't do it yet. Make sure you watch this video all the way through. I'm going to give you 5 things from a person who's been podcasting for over 12 years to help ensure that you're going to get the most out of it. Hey, so excited for you. My name is Pat Flynn, and I've been podcasting for a very long time now. I'm an OG in the space for sure, with over 1,700 episodes recorded, 75 million downloads total across several different shows, and there are more coming out because I just love it so much, and I want you to love it too. So these 5 things I'm going to share with you are things I need you to think about before you actually start recording, so that you can record and have some fun and make it something that actually allows you to have a platform to share your voice and to connect with people and to potentially start a business or whatever you want to do with your show. Some amazing things can happen. Relationships can be built, maybe even more money in your bank account. But you gotta listen to these 5 things. So let's start with number 1. You gotta understand who your show is for. Who are you recording this for? And you might be like, well, I want to record it for everybody. I want the entire world to listen. And yeah, that's cool. But unfortunately, if you create a show for everybody to listen to, it's actually going to be for nobody. And the reason is because people look for shows that are very specific to them and their needs and their wants, their entertainment style, what they like, what they need to know about, whatever the case may be. You need to know who you're recording for. Now, let's say you're in the fitness space, right? And you might think, okay, well, I'm just going to go general. In some episodes, I'm going to talk about weight gain. In some episodes, I'm going to talk about weight loss. In some episodes, I'm going to talk about flexibility. In other episodes, I'm going to talk about nutrition. And yes, you might think that that's great to do. However, a person who might be interested in bodybuilding, for example, might come across your episode about weight loss and think it's not for them. A person who is maybe a swimmer hears a running episode and they're like, well, you know what? This isn't really for me. Yes, you can talk about a variety of things, but you're going to have a much better chance of piercing through all the noise that's out there, right? You're not the only podcaster talking about these things. You have a better chance of cutting through the competition, of actually connecting with the person, to have them listen and go, wow, I finally found the show that's just for me, if you niche down. As I often say, the riches are in the niches. Once you find out who your show is for, start talking to these people, ask them what they might need help with, what kinds of things would they love to hear about, what guests would they love to have on the show, which takes me to point number 2. Before you start recording your first few episodes, write down maybe 20 to 30 episodes that you can actually come up with in your head. Because the truth is, a lot of people jump in and they get to episode, 5 to 7, and they're like, oh, I kind of ran out of stuff to say, and I feel like all this pressure is coming because I got next week's episode to do. What am I going to do? And they just kind of fall short and they experience what's called pod fade. They just fade away. I don't want you to fade away. Come up with 25, right? 20 to 30 ideas, different guests, different topics, and you want to ensure that these are things that this particular target audience that you have for your show actually cares about. How do you know? Talk to them, have conversation, join conversations happening on social, join communities and groups and start talking to these people. You likely have access to these people right now on your phone or your device. You can get inspiration from many other places too, other podcasters, other blogs, other YouTube channels. Look inside books and see the kinds of topics they're covering that are, again, specific for that target audience. And when you have 20 to 30 different episodes just written down, you don't need to know the titles right away, but when you have that written down, you start to see the plan ahead, and you don't ever fall into that content hamster wheel, which is very scary to be on, where you publish an episode and immediately you don't have the time to market it or even enjoy it because you're already thinking about, well, what the heck am I going to record for next week or the next episode? Don't fall into that trap. Number 3, when you get an idea of what your show's about and you have an understanding of the different kinds of episodes that you're going to have on it, the potential guests, whether you think you can get access to them or not, start pitching your podcast idea to others. Just start talking about it. It's going to force you to just figure out what the right words are to say to connect with a person. It's going to help you connect with more people. It's going to allow you to actually figure out how to best position your podcast for the space that you're getting into. Just go out there and do it. And yeah, it's a little scary. Do it with your spouse and your kids and your family and your friends and just random strangers. Buy them a Starbucks and say, hey, I'm going to pitch you this idea for my podcast. I want to know what you think of it. And even if they're not in your target audience, the truth is if they don't even know what you're saying, then it's not going to work. Whether a person responds with, yeah, that's absolutely the show I've been looking for, or no, that's not for me, at least they get it. Too many podcasters just fumble their words. They come up with a title and a description that kind of just is very general, and they don't know the words to say to position themselves. You need to know that, and forcing yourself, putting yourself out there, pitching your idea without it having any recordings behind it yet. It's just an idea right now, allows you to hone in on that positioning and better serve your audience once you start to get behind the microphone. Number 4, yes, the tech and the software stuff can be very, very overwhelming, but I got a resource for you. I want you to check out Buzzsprout. If you go to smartpassiveincome.com/Buzzsprout, that's my affiliate link. I use Buzzsprout. Absolutely love the team there. They make uploading a podcast and serving it out to all the different places, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, all the different directories. They make it so easy, literally easier than anybody I know. And I want to help you. And this is help because it's going to make your life so much easier. So definitely check them out. And if you go through my affiliate link, which is smartpassiveincome.com/Buzzsprout, you'll actually get more time added to your plan. What I love about them as well is they make just the pricing so much easy, and it's very cheap to do. And it's all based on how many hours you upload, not how many megabytes or all these other things where you have to worry about file optimization. They do all the work for you, including this thing called magic mastering, which is where they take the files that you upload, and you're not an audio engineer. I'm not an audio engineer, but they take these things and they master the files, which means they take the things that are high and make them low enough, and they take the things that are too low and too soft and make them loud enough, and the audio comes out perfect. And they do this automatically with just the magic mastering thing majig that they have there. So it's just amazing. smartpassiveincome.com/Buzzsprout if you want to check them out. This is not a sponsored video. I just love them to death. They're amazing. Check them out. Fifth and finally, and trust me on this one, you're going to come up with all the excuses in the world to stop yourself from hitting record and publishing, or just maybe publishing in general. It's a scary thing to put your voice out there, but truly the pros far outweigh the cons, from the relationships that you can build, from new opportunities and doors that open that you wouldn't even know existed. So many amazing things have happened since starting a podcast. But I'll tell you, I remember declaring on my website I was going to start a podcast in December of 2008. My first episode didn't come out till July of 2010. That's a year and a half later, because I was just too scared and too timid. It was just, I was getting in my own head. Who was going to even listen to me? Was I even good enough? Like, I don't even know how to communicate on a microphone. You learn as you go, right? You learn as you go. As my buddy John Lee Dumas, another famous podcaster, once said, you got to be a disaster before you become the master. So go out there, be a disaster, and make sure you hit record too. I've accidentally not hit record when doing interviews before. That's not fun. But anyway, you can do this. Just hit record, go. Your next episode is always going to be better than the last, and you got this. So thank you so much. And also check out the other resources I have here, because podcasting is my jam. I've helped tens of thousands of people here on YouTube. In fact, I have the #1 podcasting tutorial, which I'll link to right over here, or maybe an updated one in the future. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Hit subscribe. I got more for you later. Peace out.